right, so this morning I'd like to start either in Sukhasana, cross-legged, or half lotus, taking one foot, lifting it up by the outside edge of the foot and placing it into the crease of the opposite hip and thigh. And then just allowing that knee to rest down. And we'll switch halfway. So whether you're in Sukhasana or in half lotus, we'll switch the legs about halfway. Then sit with a tall spine, relaxed body, and close the eyes. Hands can just rest comfortably on the knees. And take a moment here just to go inward. And shift your attention from all the external doing to awareness of the internal. And it doesn't take long once we turn our attention inward to begin to observe our breath. So for now, just watch the rise and fall of the belly. And then use this as a tool to observe the mind. So notice the quality of the mind. So if the breath is a little shorter, a little more shallow, does the mind seem to be rapidly thinking? If it's a little slower and deeper, do the thoughts seem a little bit more dispersed? On your next inhale, breathe into the belly first, then the rib cage, and then the chest. And then exhale the belly, and then the rib cage, and then the chest. And really work on expanding the breath into these three parts: belly, ribs, chest on inhalation, and exhalation, belly, ribs, and chest. And those of you that are familiar with Ujjayi, you may have already added it into the breath as you've deepened it. But add in that soft ocean wave or whisper type sound as you expand and shape the breath. And let's take one more full, complete diaphragmatic breath. And then relax all effort and just let the breath be easy and comfortable. Notice the quality of the mind here as you've relaxed. So I think this is one of the greatest gifts we've received from yoga, is this understanding that our mental state can be shifted by the quality of the breath and vice versa. And so when we're finding that the mind is very active, very busy, a lot of thoughts coming through, maybe the quality of the thoughts are not what we would like them to be, then we can, instead of trying to stop the mind from thinking, which we know is almost impossible, then we can bring our attention into the breath instead and apply some of these tools and techniques to deepen and slow the breath down, which has its immediate effects on the mind. When we have excessive thinking, we often tend to get a lot of strain or stress around the neck, shoulders, upper back, upper area. So we're going to be loosening a lot of that in our practice today. So please bring your hands together in front of your heart. Bow your head to your hands. And we'll set that as our group intention. And if there's anything that you've been working on, perhaps in your own life, with regard to a deeper listening, a way of turning inward for your answers beyond just the cognitive functions of the mind, then please bring that into the intention now. And place this in the heart and surround it with love. Remember that often our messages or our intuition comes from this area. We consider it to be the seat of the soul. Now we're going to begin the practice with the chant of Om 3 times to align ourselves with the vibration of creation. So remember, it's A, O, M. The A vibrates the lower portion of the spine. The O vibrates the middle portion of the spine, and the M vibrates the upper portion. So deep inhale in, and long exhale out. Good. Another deep inhale in. Just gently lower your chin to your chest. And just gradually open your eyes and come back. And we're going to switch our legs. So if you're in Sukhasana, bring the other leg forward. It might feel awkward if you're used to doing Sukhasana only in that one way. So that's okay. We want to bring more balance to the body. And if you're doing half lotus, you're going to just grab the foot on the outside edge to help protect the knee as you bring it into the position. Good. We can stay with your sit bones propped up if you prefer, or bring the sit bones down completely on the floor. Inhale, the arms are going to reach up. We're just going to exhale and bend the elbows out wide and lift the sternum and feel that space open up in the heart, stretching through the shoulders. Inhale, reach the arms up, look up. Exhale, bring the chin down, open up the space in the back of the skull and bend those elbows down towards the rib cage, opening up the tops of the shoulders. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, bring the chin down. Squeeze the elbows into the side. Feel length coming into the back of the neck. 2 more. So we're releasing Jalandhara Bandha on inhale as we look up at the hands. And then we're going to bring Jalandhara back in, the chin lock, as we bring the elbows down. Good. Release the fingertips to the floor. Reach them as far as they'll go. And now push the fingertips into the floor and really feel length through the arms. Feel as if you could drain any tension and stress from the very base of the skull down through the neck, down through the tops of the shoulders, into the arms, to the fingertips, and then release it into the earth, just letting it go. Good. Right hand into the floor. Inhale the left arm up and over the head. Press the left hip away from the fingertips and elongate the side body. Breathing here. Feel space opening up in between the rib bones. Anytime we've been sitting for a long period of time, that area tends to get really compacted. So we get the breath in there to create some space, some room, and free up some of that tension. Chin is in slightly, back of the neck is long, still applying Jalandhara Bandha here, even though it feels a little different. And now in this position, we're going to just squeeze the shoulder blade in and down the back and now offer up the heart. So rotate the navel slightly to the left, gaze up at the ceiling, and breathe here as you feel the chest stretching, the contraction at the back of the shoulder blade. And then lift with your left hand, slowly come back up. And again, just take a moment to feel the left side versus the right, fingertips into the floor, elongation through the arms. And now left hand into the floor. Inhale the right arm up and just float over to that left side. Press the right hip away from the fingertips. So keep the arm long. Do turn the pinky finger down slightly towards the floor so that you get that little bit of an internal rotation. And now head the shoulder down into its socket. And then send your breath into the ribs. So really feel the lung expanding them there. Breathe deeply. Two more. All that space and room. Now we're going to open up the chest, squeeze the right shoulder blade in and down the back, offer up the heart, and feel that release as the navel rotates to the right. All that space across that pectoralis major, which gets so tight when we have rounded shoulders, we don't have that good posture. And the muscles in the back body tend to get weaker and weaker as we age. We want to strengthen them, pulling that shoulder blade in towards the spine. And now reach up with that right hand, slowly come back up into seated. Again, fingertips are long here. Lift through the back of the skull, so create length in the neck, and just feel. Okay. So we're going to extend the arms out long into a T and cross the right arm over the left at the elbow. Wrap the hands together so you're rotating through the forearms and palms come up. So we're in eagle arms. Inhale, lift the elbows as high as you can. And then exhale and bring the elbows down towards the abdomen. Slight contraction there of the belly towards the spine. Do it again. Inhale, lift the elbows up, stretching them as high as you can into the backs of the heart. And then exhale, pull those elbows down towards the navel. Good. Keep going. 3 more with your breath. Inhaling as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Good. We're going to release the arms out into a T again. And now we have to do the other side. So we're going to cross the left elbow over the right. Rotate the forearms and the palms together. Good. Again, inhale, lift the elbows up as high as you can. Might feel a different stretch on this side. That's okay. And then exhale as the elbows come down. Contract the abdomen towards the spine. So let's add in that Jalandhara Bandha. So as you inhale, you're going to lift the elbows up and look up. And now exhale, bring the chin down as the elbows come down. And 3 more like that on your own. Inhaling as the elbows lift up, you're going to look up. Bring the chin down and then bring the elbows down. Last 2. One more. And then release the arms out wide. And bring them down by your side, fingertips into the mat. Okay, hands or fingertips on top of the shoulders. We're going to make circles with the elbows. So as big, wide circles as you can, rotating through the shoulder joints. So start to feel some warmth building in there. Just breaking up some of the chronic contraction that we have in this area, letting some of that prana be released. And also this movement helps to lubricate the joints. And then once you've gone in one direction for a while, go in the other direction. So reverse it. Navel stays towards the back of the spine for supporting the torso, and keep the chin drawing in slightly so the back of the neck is long. Very nice. And then just release, fingertips to the floor. Draw your chin down towards your chest. Inhale, take your right ear to your right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. And now left ear to left shoulder. And keep going, chin to chest. Right ear, right shoulder. Chin to chest. Left ear, left shoulder. So as you're going back and forth through these little half neck rolls, notice if there's an area that feels particularly tender. And if you find that area, then just spend a little extra time there. So if there's like a sweet spot, just take an extra breath or two. Maybe lift the chin a little higher, maybe lower it down, whatever you need to get into that area of the body. Just feel that sweet, sweet release. Again, all that thinking, all the excessive mentality that we have causes this chronic stress and tension, too much energy in this area of the body. So we want to release it, send that prana back into the system, and maybe nourish some other areas that have been neglected. Coming back to the center. One more time to the left. And now chin to chest, bring your hands on top of the back of the skull. Let the elbows grow heavy. So imagine you have weights attached to your elbows. So rather than them poking out to the side, they're hanging straight down. And now dip your right elbow down lower than your left. So you're just twisting the neck a little bit here. And then dip your left elbow down lower than your right. And you're just going to keep going back and forth, imagining like weights attached to those elbows, like the justice sign. One side's heavier and the other side's heavier. And just feel how it not only opens up the back of the neck, but perhaps even all the way down those spinal muscles. Last one on each side. And then head comes back to neutral and just observe. Okay, let's take the leg out of half lotus. Take a moment to just allow that to adjust by extending the legs long. And you're going to internally rotate them, grab the hand and roll the flesh in and down. It's okay if your sit bones are still propped up. Just take a moment to flex your feet and then point your toes. Flex your feet and point your toes. And do that a couple times here just to bring some blood flow back into the legs, pumping some blood there. Very nice. One more. And then we'll come into tabletop position. So in tabletop, hands are under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet pressed firmly into the floor. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the sit bones, look up. Exhale, draw the navel to the spine, round the back, take the sit bones to the heels for child's pose. Repeat that again. Inhale, heart lift, sit bones lift, opening up the front body. Exhale, draw the navel to the spine, round the back, take the sit bones to the heels, child's pose. Good. Again, inhaling, lift. Exhale, navel to spine, round the back, sit bones to heels. Inhale, lift. Exhale, navel in. And one more. Just noticing any sensation along the spine. And then come back into tabletop position. Lift your left arm up in the air for a moment, rotating the navel to the left, and now thread that arm through the hole. We'll go into that upper back again by rolling onto the shoulder blade. Right hand at a 90-degree angle, actively push the floor away from you. So we call this the thread the needle pose, but navel is going to hug back towards the spine to keep the hips stable. Tops of the feet are pressing firmly into the floor. Let your cheeks soften, so bring your left cheek down into the mat and continue to push the floor away with that right hand. And then when you feel like you've gotten some good space there in the back of the shoulder blade, take the right arm over the head, fingers in a finger stand or palm flat. And now use that top arm over the head just to keep a little more length in the right side body. Breathe here into this posture. Again, when we sit for long periods of time, this area gets so tight. Navel hugs back on exhalation. One more. Now reach that right arm straight up in the air, pull the shoulder open for just a moment, and then come back into tabletop position. Take a moment to let the spine unwind. Just feel that subtle release. So we're going to do that on the other side. Right arm lifts up, rotate the navel to the right for just a moment, and now thread that arm through the hole and roll onto the right shoulder. So left hand at a 90-degree angle, push the floor away from you. Use that to tuck the shoulder blade more deeply under the body. Relax your right cheek into the mat. Navel hugs the back body. Tops of the feet are grounded. And then once you're nice and secure here, take the left arm over the head, fingers either in a finger stand or palm flat, and use that just to create a little more length along the left side body, as well as provide a little kickstand for stability. So any area that's tender, send your breath into that area. Let the inhale intensify it, and let the exhale release it. Last one. And then slowly unwind again back into tabletop position. Take a moment to just feel. So from tabletop, point your fingertips toward your knees. Palms are flat. And then lean your weight back into your hips. So you're going to stretch into those forearms. Feel all that space opening up there. So if we sit at computers for long periods of time, or even on our cell phones, we have all that chronic repetition of patterns and movement, and we don't always take the time to stretch and counter that. So it's as if we were only pumping weight in one direction and ignoring, ignoring the muscle in the other direction. So one more breath here. Keep leaning the weight back. And then we're going to release that and switch. Now tops of the hands come down to the mat, fingers point in towards one another. And then you're going to bring your weight forward a little bit towards the palms. Keep a little micro bend in the elbow, and now make fists with your hands. A little fist and then release. Fist, then release. And keep going a couple more times. Good, and then sit back on your heels, shake your hands out, do some rolls in one direction, rolls in the other direction. So just with a little fist there. And one more shake. Okay. So back into the mat, we're going to bring the elbows down, wrap the hands around the middle part of the arms, and either you can interlace your fingers and press your forearms down, or spread your palms wide with your forearms parallel, tuck your back toes under, lift your sit bones up and back, and we're coming into Dolphin variation of down dog. So just for a few moments, just hold this posture here. We're going to treat it like our down dog today. So bend one knee and press the other heel down, and then bend the other knee and press the other heel down. And you can alternate your legs back and forth. So as you anchor through those forearms, feel the space behind the heart and the upper back area. Notice if there's tension there. Perhaps underneath that tension, we feel a little bit of a weakness of the shoulders or the muscles that support us. So this is a great posture, not only for opening that area up, but also for building strength. And then have your feet hip distance apart. Turn your toes in slightly, heels out. Lift your hips as high as you can. Press into the forearms and make sure the head and neck is just hanging. So no tension there in the neck at all. Navel hugs towards the back body on exhalation. Let's take 3 more full, complete breaths here. Last one. And then bring your knees to the floor, take your sit bones to your heels, just round your upper back, and you can widen the knees if you'd like so the chest falls forward a little bit further through the legs, and then hands go back by the heels, and as the upper back rounds, really soften into the shoulders, feel tension melting away. And we're going to bring the arms forward again, come back up into tabletop position. Lift the heart, lift the sit bones, look up. Exhale, tuck the toes and find downward facing dog. Come forward into standing forward fold. Just take your time to go slow. So step your feet forward and then just stop there. About 6 inches forward. Take a moment to breathe. Notice your shorter down dog. More sensation in the back of the legs. And then walk your feet forward again. Stop another 6 inches. Breathe. And walk your feet forward again, almost to your hands, not quite. Stop and breathe. Just observe. How's the body adjusting to this? And then finally, we're going to walk all the way forward to the fingertips. Stop there and breathe, but we're going to grab onto either elbow. Let that provide some traction for the spine. So get as heavy as you can here through the upper body, making sure that the feet are stable, not too far forward in the ball of the foot or the heel or inner and outer edge. A little micro bend in the knee is fine to help provide a little more stability for the body, but then you're just really letting the upper body hang, and the weight of the arms is providing some traction here. Even the crown of the head is hanging. And then we're going to sway a little bit from side to side, so just rocking back and forth, bringing in some movement. Sometimes through that repetition, the body helps to release. You can sway slow or you can sway quickly, whatever feels right for your body. And then settle back in the center, letting the arms just hang for another moment or two. And then we'll sweep the hands to behind us towards the sacrum. Interlace the fingers. Pull the knuckles up and away and stretch out the shoulders. And here, if you want to do a little bit of shoulder work, you can pull the hands towards the sacrum and then pull them back over the head and just go back and forth a few times, flossing those shoulder blades. And then pull the knuckles back behind you, press equally into both feet, and slowly rise up to standing. As you come to the top, pull the knuckles down towards the floor, lift the chin here, open up the front of the throat. This is where we speak our truth. And then draw the chin down, back of the skull is lifted, and just release the arms and let them hang by your side. And take a moment to really observe the upper body. Notice the sensation there. Okay, so we're going to do a shoulder move. It's not very pleasant, but it does help to break up some of the tension that's there in the shoulders that is chronic. So if you have a strap, or if you don't have a strap, a rope or something that's similar to this would be great. And then you're going to wrap the strap around your hand so you get a nice bind on it. So you're going to wrap it around this hand. And what we want to do is have the strap be about shoulder distance. So if you extend your arms out in front of you, your hands should be directly in line with your shoulders. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start to move the shoulders up, and we're going to take some time to breathe. Now, normally we could do this, and this practice could take about 10 full minutes, but we're going to move through it a little bit quicker than that. Certainly at your own pace at home later on, another day, you might want to take the time to really do it all the way. So we're going to bring the arms up to shoulder distance. Pull on your strap, so create some tension there so the strap is not slack in any way. And notice how as you pull outward, you feel some opening there in the upper back. Chin stays in, back of the neck is long. Now bring the arms up just a little bit, so a couple inches. Continue to pull so that the strap is nice and taut. Breathing here, so don't hold your breath, but do keep the navel in so there's some firm stability in the core. And then come up again another couple inches. A little bit more of a diagonal here. And what you start to find is somewhere around this area is that the shoulders start to complain. We have a lot of chronic tension there. And what's interesting to me about tension is that on the surface, it's hard, it's firm. It almost looks like strength. But the reality is that that's just the tone. Underneath it are weaker muscles. And that's what causes that tension to stay chronic. Let's go up another couple inches. So work like this helps to break through it, but what we find is initially there's a lot of uncomfortableness, maybe some heat, maybe some aching. Try to keep the neck long and relax the back of the neck so that there's not tension there, there's just space. Maybe some shakings coming into the arms, that's okay. We're working through it. Now try lifting them another couple inches. And this is starting to build some of that heat, some of that warmth that breaks up that tension. Breathe fully. Face is soft. Make sure the jaw stays soft and the eyes stay soft. Let's go up another couple inches. Stopping there. And another couple inches. And now you're almost directly over the head, so observe how that feels. Keep the shoulder heads down into their socket. Continue to stay tall through the spine, so you've got the crown of the head lifting. And even though the navel is absorbing in, the pelvic floor is lifting for support, make sure the glutes aren't excessively squeezing. And now take the arms back a little further. And this is where you may need to widen the strap a little bit. I wouldn't go too far, but maybe an inch or so. Just because when we hit that end point to the head of the humerus hitting the acromion process, and we start to find that we have to bypass that in order to open the arms up behind us. So we want to accommodate that. Let's widen the strap a little bit more and take the arms back a little bit further behind the head. And if you're like me, my arms are shaking. It's uncomfortable. But that's what reminds me that I really need to be more mindful of this area of my body. We often take parts of our body for granted when we have a particular career or focus that requires repetitive action. So even something as simple as sitting at a desk all day long, that can also create those repetitive patterns. Let's widen the strap and go a little further back. And just breathe here. Remember to hold the navel in and also pull the low ribs in. So a lot of times when we start moving into more of a hyperextension, we want to poke those low ribs out. Continue to breathe. Let's widen the strap, go back a little further. Might find it to be a bit uncomfortable here, particularly if the front of the chest is tight. So even if you don't have a job that requires you to sit at a desk all day, just our posture alone is not ideal. And so we tend to over-contract the pectoralis major and minor muscles, and then they get really tight. Let's open the strap a little bit more, another inch or so, and take the arms back a little further. Breathing here. Smile a little bit. So as you smile, it softens the features of the face. And even though we're uncomfortable, we're going to stay in that place of serenity, calm. Let's go back a little further. Now you may need to widen the strap to go back further, or you may get to a point where you can just kind of keep the strap at the same length. You're still keeping it taut. It's not buckling in any way. Shoulders down, away from the ears. Let's go back another couple inches. Ujjayi breathing will help focus the mind on the sound. And then down another couple of inches. And if your rope starts to get slack, and you can tighten it again by looping it around the hand a little further. And then down another couple inches. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe tighten the strap a little more. Going down another couple inches. Just maybe feeling some release there now as gravity takes over. And then arms relax completely by your sides. And just take a moment to feel that sensation. All the warmth in the upper back. Good. Just give a little shoulder roll there, forward and back. And take the legs out straight for Dandasana staff pose. Again, you might want to internally rotate the flesh, rolling it in and down, hands by the hips, sit as tall as you can. Flex the feet. Remember, the legs are engaged here. And if you've got slightly shorter arms like I do, you just try to push the palms down into the floor. And that alone is creating a little bit of a stretch along the shoulders and the arms. Eyes closed. Chin is in slightly, back of the neck long, lift through the crown of the head. Good, one more here. Cross your legs into Sukhasana easy pose, and then just come forward onto your hands, finding yourself back into tabletop position. Inhale, lift heart, lift sit bones, look up. Squeeze the elbows tight into your side, belly comes down, tops of the feet ground. So hands in alignment with the tops of the shoulders. We're going to inhale up into cobra. And then exhale and turn your cheek to one side. And then inhale up into cobra. And then exhale, turn your cheek to the other side. And again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. 2 more on each cheek. Now this time we're going to inhale and come up to cobra. Release the hands to the lower back. Interlace the fingers again. Pull the knuckles down towards your back body. And now see if you can lift the legs at the same time. Without straining the back of the neck, keep some space there with a slight lift to the chin. Breathe deeply. Gaze steady. One more. And then soften down onto your tummy. Turning your cheek to one side, relax completely. And then turn your cheek to the other side. So now looking over your right shoulder, you can extend your arm out directly from your shoulder, so you're making a T. Now, draw your hand up just an inch or two, so it's more in alignment with your eyes, and then glue your hand to the floor, and don't let it move. We're going to roll over onto our right side, resting onto that right shoulder into fetal position. And if you have tight shoulders, this might be enough for you. You might want to just stay here. Otherwise, what we can do is take the left leg, top leg, bend it behind the bottom leg, and have the foot flat knee bent. Now you can use that if you have a little more flexibility to pick your hips up and shift them to the right and bring both feet flat, both knees bent. No matter which position you're in, if you want, you can take the top arm up and let the back of that hand float towards the back of the other hand. If that's too intense, just keep the hand down on the floor and breathe. Now surrender your belly button toward your back body, rotating your navel deeper to the left. Keep letting go. Keep allowing that twist to deepen. One more here. And then rotate onto your tummy again. Take your time to come out slowly, first into fetal, and then back onto the belly. And the arm might need a minute just to adjust before you pull it into your side. And then we're going to do the other side. So left arm directly out from the shoulder into a T. And walk it up so it lines up with the eyes, so just another inch or two. Glue the hand to the floor. Roll over onto the left side and come into fetal position.
And just rest there. Maybe that's enough for you. Maybe the body just needs to acclimate for a moment or two. Otherwise, take the top leg, foot flat, knee bent behind the bottom leg. This might be enough. You might want to just stay here. Breathe. Or if you can pick your hips up and shift them over to the left, you can bring both feet flat, both knees bent. No matter which position you're in, if you want to take the top arm up in the air and let the back of the hand float towards the back of the other hand, you can do that. Or just keep the hand down for support. Breathing. Neck is relaxed. One more here. And now slowly come down back into fetal first, and then slowly back onto your tummy. Take a moment with that arm if it needs a second before you pull it into your side.
And then we'll come onto our backs. So knees into chest as you come down onto your back. And then if you want to rock a little bit from side to side on the spine, just a little massage there. And we're going to do just a little vinyasa before we go down. So arms by your side, knees into the chest. Inhale, the legs straighten up in the air. Soles of the feet face the ceiling, arms reach over the head. And then exhale, bring the hands to the knees, knees to the chest. Again, inhale, arms over the head, legs straighten, soles of the feet face the ceiling. Exhale, bring the hands to the knees and the knees to the chest. And just a couple more here, inhaling, exhaling. Very nice. This time when you bring your knees into your chest, we're just going to take the knees over to the left. As you look to your right, right arm opens up. Feel all that space you created in your shoulder and upper back today. Just that sweet, sweet release. And then come back to center and take the knees over to the right as you look to your left. It's the same thing here. Feel the navel rotating to the left. Head and neck is relaxed. No tension in the face. And then come back to center, bring your knees into your chest, and extend your legs long to the floor for Shavasana. So final relaxation, arms down by your side, palms face up. If you have an eye pillow and you're in a lighted room, place it over the eyes. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you, palms face the ceiling, legs a little wider than hip distance apart. And then just allow the body to really surrender into the mat, maybe feeling still some of that warmth in the upper back and neck area. Prana flowing more freely through the body. And once again, turn your attention to the rise and fall of the belly. For a few moments, just let the mind watch that. And then just let the effort go, no longer watching the rise and fall of the belly. And just let the mind be at peace. So very slowly begin to deepen your breath. And feel the breath coming into the body with grace and ease. And gently run your thumb across your fingertips, wiggle your toes. You can roll your wrists and your ankles, feeling spaciousness. And then bring your knees into your chest one more time. Just hug them in. And roll over onto your right side into fetal position, arm under the head as a pillow. And placing the hand into the earth. Slowly come back up into seated. Head and neck heavy, eyes closed as you come up. If you want, you can prop your sit bones up for just a moment of meditation. So sitting with a tall spine, relaxed body. Take a moment once again to turn your attention to the mind and observe the quality. Has it changed from when we first started? Is it quieter, a little more clear? And acknowledge the aspect within you that allows you to observe the mind. Most times throughout the day we're identified with our thoughts, but yoga gives us this opportunity to observe the observer, the one who can watch and see, the one who knows. So let's just end with Kaya Sthira, total body steadiness for one full minute. We're not going to move a muscle. So make that commitment and begin. Very nice. And then just lower your chin to your chest. Bring your hands to your heart. And let's go back to the intention we set at the beginning of the practice and trust that you received what you could receive and let the rest go. Remember to have that calm and tranquil mind. We really need a feeling of peace or to be without disturbance. So let's just chant Om Shanti 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 Hi. Deep inhale in. Long exhale out. Deep inhale in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bow your chin to your chest and slowly open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel and share it with family and friends that you think could benefit from this practice. Also below in the description is a link to my Patreon account. If you'd like to donate to keep these videos coming free, I'd really appreciate your support. Take care.